Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Return to the planet of the apes.
Welcome to another episode of Go Ape Podcast. I'm your host, Jon Randall. With me as always,
I'm Brandon Gehringer.
Hello, Brandon Gehringer.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Doing well. Today's a landmark episode for us.
Sure is.
We have wrapped up the Planet of the Apes TV show.
Yep, we sure are. It's the last episode of the Planet of the Apes TV show. No, not the podcast. We've got much more to go.
Well, I'll be searching for a replacement host for myself while you go through the cartoons.
Okay.
So any of our listeners out there, if you're interested, you can send applications to our Gmail account.
You are not a very big Planet of the Apes fan if you don't like the cartoon.
Pueblos. The cartoon's not great.
It's got some good episodes. It's got the
It had like 4.
It's got the Monster Bird. Remember? Monster Bird.
I do.
We got to
get call.
All right, we got to get on track here. This is a huge episode.
Okay, let's focus.
This is a very long episode.
Let's focus.
Okay, so we got to get right to the meat.
Very long. It's gonna be like the same.
No, it won't.
amount of time
We've got this list. We've got a special guest. Mm-hmm. We've got the episode itself to talk about, and then we have our wrap up, anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes each.
Oh my god! I forgot to collect my thoughts for the entire series.
Yeah, you got to collect your thoughts for the whole 30. It's gonna be about 30. I've allocated 30 minutes each to our thoughts on the whole.
But now I have to collect my thoughts while we're doing the podcast because I didn't pre-collect them.
You should have got. You should come prepared. That's what you should have done.
I'll tell you what I was prepared for.
Oh yeah.
I came to you yesterday with a text, and I said, since tis the season.
It is tis the season
of Christmas.
It is.
Monkey Christmas, that is.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's Go Ape Podcast.
Go Ape.
We're monkeys.
That's right.
Monkeys, derogatory. So I think for Countdown to Christmas, all right, the 12 Days to Christmas countdown of movies you should watch in December, leading up to Christmas. Now, these are Christmas movies or movies that take place during Christmas,
or as you build it to me, your favorite Christmas movies.
What you would watch around Christmas.
What I watch around Christmas.
Yeah,
with my eyes.
Right, and what we recommend people should.
So
watch.
how are we going to do this? Go from the top,
12 down to 1.
All right,
and we'll go back and forth each of our ones.
Okay, go for it.
Number 12. I said, and this is for all of our listeners that have significant others.
Okay,
a good movie to watch with them. The movie Love Actually. With Hugh Grant.
I have that on my list as well. I have it higher.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I put it as number 12. It's a good couples movie. It's got some very funny parts. And Bill Nighy is a good laugh.
It is also very sappy. It's sappy.
It is.
And it's probably ridiculed on many, many fronts.
It probably is, but
yes.
I do say Bill Nighy's hilarious in the film.
Well, I think that whenever you first watch it, it's an enjoyable film. And then you can watch it multiple times. And it's got sections of... There's so many stories going on with it that you can pick a story that you like that is going on. And there's some stories that maybe not as good.
That you don't care about.
Yeah, the little kid and the vampire guy.
Yeah. All right.
So my 12?
Your number 12.
Is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Didn't even make my list. I didn't think about it.
There's going to be probably a lot of that.
You're right, though. That's a good one.
I struggle to get some towards the end, you know what I mean? Because I don't really have a whole bunch of Christmas movies I like. But I was able to get 12 movies that I think are good movies.
Not only did I get 12, I got 4 honorable mentions.
Wow, that's really gone. And you didn't get Grinch.
And I didn't get Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Well, there's going to be some ones on here.
Something's wrong with me.
Well, you do have some. We have some issues, but it's okay. Go ahead. You're number 11 now.
Number 11, Gremlins.
Ooh, I've got that much higher. Mine's Home Alone.
Okay, I didn't think about Gremlins until you mentioned it
Correct.
When we were just discussing stuff. Gremlins is a great one. Of course, takes place during Christmas. He gets the Mogwai for Christmas.
Yeah, that's all it had to be, is something themed around Christmas. It doesn't have to be a movie about Christmas, obviously.
And that movie really goes off the rails.
Well, yeah, it's pretty dark.
He effed it up.
It's dark. It's a dark movie.
It destroyed the whole town.
Yeah, well, it's dark, and the story of...
Well, it's a Joe Dante film, and Joe Dante is known for doing kind of horror-type movies.
Well, look at Phoebe Cates' story about her dad dying in the
chimney.
And he was there all that time. So, yeah, that's... Actually, my 11 is Home Alone.
Okay.
And
Home Alone's a great one.
It is good, but I think it's... I don't know. I mean, I think that there's not too many jokes. I don't think that comedy's kind of... It was enjoyable, I think, when you first saw it. You were a kid, young. Right. I don't think that really the comedy's there.
But I think as a...
holiday movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones you can always go back and watch every year. Like, if you watch it around Christmas time, I think you can find enjoyment with it. And especially now that you have kids, I have a 4-year-old nephew, it's a good movie to watch with younger kids, too.
I agree.
You know, because they can really enjoy it.
Okay, you're number 10.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, I had Elf.
I've never seen Elf.
I like it, Elf.
I know a lot of people like that movie. Never seen
It's got the guy who made Iron Man. What's the boy's name?
Favreau.
Favreau directed that, right?
I
believe so.
I know it's Will Ferrell. That's all I know about it.
I enjoy it.
And I think, what's his name's in it? Dick, from the guy.
Dick Butkus.
Bob Newhart. The Bob Newhart show. That guy. What's his name?
Bob Newhart. There you go. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's in it.
Okay.
So there we go. Do you have anything else to say about Elf? I don't know anything.
No,
about
I mean
it.
it's a fun movie. I was just trying to think of movies that were Christmassy that that on the low end of the spectrum that I'm like, it was a fun movie to watch. It wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was kind of unique in its own right.
Right.
It was directed by Jon Favreau. IMDb, thank you once again. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an okay movie. It's fun to watch. I think people should watch it.
All right.
I'm not endorsing any of these as like, except ones that I'll actually say out as like, these are great, my favorite, and those will be at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we?
Number 9. So number 9. You go first, Lindsay.
I got It's a Wonderful Life.
I had that much higher.
Well, sure. Most people do have it much higher.
Yep.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's very Christmassy. I just think it's a very cool story about life changes and what would happen to your life without you. See what I'm saying? I think the Christmas element's almost out of the movie.
Let's think about this, though.
It didn't have to be during
the movie that most people have as number 1 Christmas film of all time.
Movie.
Okay?
Yeah.
But let's think about this. It's a movie about a guy who wants to kill himself.
Right. Yeah.
That's some dark shit.
And then it just shows him a life without him.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I mean, it's a great movie. I think it's a great movie. It's a great story, and yeah, there's Christmas in it. And it does. If it's number 1 on people's list, for me myself personally, it's just not. It's not top dog. I mean, it's not the movie. If I'm going to sit down and say I've got all these movies laid out in front of me, I've got to watch this one first, and then that's going to be my top pick, and then my second pick. I would watch them in this order. I guess I would say. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it is still my number 9 out of 12. But
my number 9, the Tim Allen classic, The Santa Claus.
That was not making my list. I do not remember. I don't know if I've seen it all the way. I think I did.
I've seen it several times, and it's a good movie.
Okay,
it's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good family comedy Christmas movie.
Gotcha.
So, all right, you're number 8.
That's Love Actually.
That's your Love Actually.
That's my Love Actually.
My number 8, Home Alone.
Okay.
So that's where Home Alone came in for me. It's number 8. All right. So now, number 7. We're talking 1 week to Christmas now.
Okay.
We're counting down. This is the final week to Christmas. So these are going to be better ones.
I think so.
Number 7 for me. Charlie Brown Christmas.
Okay, that's not on my list either.
Okay.
The only Charlie Brown movie I like is Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown. That's the only one I like. I don't think they're terrible.
Right.
I just don't really think they're great. I don't like. I'm not big on the Halloween one. I'm not big on the Christmas one.
Well, this one does explain to you that it's all about Jesus.
That's true.
If you're into presents and not Jesus, you may find this one a little bit heavy-handed.
I do like presents.
You may find this one heavy-handed. But it's it's a 30-minute investment. It's not it's not a lot to have to watch, and it's a good one.
And we're on number 7.
It's number 7.
Mine's Gremlins.
Gremlins, okay.
And it's just because it's not so much the Christmas aspect of it, just the enjoyable ability of Gremlins.
All right, number 6, It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, so that's yours. Mine's Die Hard.
Okay.
I think Die Hard's a great movie. I mean, everybody knows it's one of the
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's one of the best action movies. And it's good. It's just like I said, if I'm going to watch certain movies, in the holiday time, it's halfway. It's halfway for me.
Okay.
Some of them are a little bit, up getting closer. They mean a little bit more. So, yeah, Die Hard, number 6.
All right.
Number 5.
Number 5 for me. It's on every year in America. If you're listening in America, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, wow. Mine's much higher for this one.
It's A Christmas Story.
Yeah, mine, that's higher for me.
I couldn't go higher with that.
I could, definitely.
I got 4 to me that top it.
All right. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is my number 5.
Okay.
I'm certain that's on your list as well.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, that's a great movie. It's fantastic. I like all the National Lampoon's movies. 2's good. 1 and 3 I've never seen Las Vegas. That one can fall off the.
As much as Jeff, a friend of ours, hounds that movie, I find some redeemable qualities in it.
I've never seen it.
I don't mind those movies. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Chevy Chase.
Well, the thing,
unless you're watching Funny Farm.
True. I think the problem with Las Vegas is that it came after such a span from Christmas.
Right.
I got that vibe of cashing in. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure that was there. Absolutely.
I was like, ooh,
that was
really
absolutely
pushing it.
there.
And I think I was overseas too at the time, so I was like, nah,
but when you get a vacation movie that actually stars Chevy Chase,
sure,
you should watch it.
Sure.
So,
where are we at, number 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So, this one for me, Scrooged.
I have 4 Scrooge as well.
Match up.
Oh, we just
fist bump.
It's a fist bump.
That's
so
a fist bump.
We
Right
just
over the
touched.
mic. You might have heard it.
That
Right over the
that
mic. It was a fist bump.
So yeah, Scrooge is. I love it. I think it's great.
Phenomenal.
It's got a lot of good. It's very 90s. Like, it has a real 90s vibe.
Oh yeah, super.
But
His hair.
It's got great moments in it. Some, me and him are always doing Niagara Falls. We're always doing lines from
Frankie
it.
Angel.
Yeah, Frankie Angel. We just
great cast.
Yeah,
in the film too.
Do Hamlet. For
even
us.
with Karen Allen.
Can you do some Hamlet, or do you want me to do Hamlet?
For thee, I swear. I
swear. I mean, it's got some good moments in it, and it's got Bobcat Goldthwait, and it's got a lot of cameos.
Yep.
And so yeah, I got it at number 4 as well. All right, number 3.
Number 3 for me is Christmas Vacation.
Okay, mine is Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol.
That's a good one. I struggled about that one. I was kind of like, but it didn't make my list because I went with a different version of Christmas Carol. And you know me, you probably can guess what it is, but we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah. So Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol. The thing about that was, when I lived in France, like VHS tapes. That was back at VHS. I know it's disgusting to say, but they were kind of passed around like a currency with all the English speaking people that lived there, and so we had that, and like I watched it a ton, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And the thing is, it was really difficult to get now, like on DVD and stuff. Come to find out, I think it came out like in 1983, so they just did like the 30th anniversary of it, and I think the wife just actually ordered on Blu-ray. So I can't wait to get it. So I'm getting it soon. So yeah, that's number 3 for me.
Number 2 for me, Die Hard.
A Christmas Story.
Yeah, okay.
That's my Christmas Story.
Well, we still got our number 1.
Well, see, I love Christmas Story. It used to be one of those movies that before they did all this marathon that, I would just go, whenever it came on, you would try to watch it whenever you saw it.
Which for me is why I placed it lower on the list, because it comes on every single year.
Right, it's kind of diluted.
And they run it for 24 hours.
Right.
You can always catch it. That's why for me it's not as high up on the list.
But you still seem to catch it every once in a while. Like, you'll still be like, oh, this is on, we'll switch to it.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just...
And it's one of those movies you've seen so many times, it doesn't matter what point you turn on the film.
Yeah,
you can quote the lines starting with where
and
you're
it doesn't have a bad part in the beginning, middle, or end. Like, there's all good parts. One of my favorite parts, of course, is soap poisoning. It was soap poisoning. That part is hilarious.
It's a damn shame he went blind.
Yeah. And then his mom, her fainting away because of the soap poisoning. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, my number 2, Christmas Story. Yours, Die Hard.
Number 1, I'll let you go first.
Well, you know what mine is. It's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Utter. I'm thinking about cow boobs. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas is my favorite.
It's a good one.
And what's yours?
I also went the Jim Henson route.
And you went with the
Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's not on my list at all.
Which is fine. I love Michael Caine in the movie. It's great. Of course, they're singing in it. It's a Muppet movie. Sure. But I mean, I like the Muppets anyways. I think it's a phenomenal version of that film. Michael Caine, even though it's a serious actor as he is, I mean, it just comes off really well. It's a great movie.
And does he have a chimney sweep voice like he had in the Batman movies? Like
Pretty
he sounds
much.
like a chimney sweep.
Cockney accent.
Yeah. Alfred's supposed to be a low education, educated man apparently with a chimney sweep voice. Mine's Emmett Otter. It was something that used to come on, and I would just like run to the TV to watch it when it came on. Love the songs. I love Emmett. He's so awesome. I've got the songs like pretty much just embedded in my psyche. Pretty much. I mean, I can sing them. I know all the parts. I've watched it countless times, and. Is it a great Christmas-themed movie? Not really. I mean, it's during Christmas, but it's more of a family, friends type together, being with each other in type movie. Yeah, fantastic. Plus, it's got several amazing lines. Look at the birds up in the trees. We're not birds, we're a jug band. I mean, that's incredible.
It's got mashed potatoes.
Yep. Ready with the house lights? Dim the house lights. That part gets me.
And it has one of the greatest rock bands of all time.
Yeah.
The River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Which is a fantastic song, which I knew when I was a kid, it blew me away. I love the Weasel, that's the main singer. Yeah. Of course, the Bear's awesome. I mean, it's just...
What don't they like to do?
Well, lots of things. Brush their teeth. It helps them say, "Nyeh." I mean, it's just so good. And I love the old lady with the laundry parcel. There was a Scotch mark on one of the sheets. And there's something about it. It's just so great. And it's unfortunately though, it's one of those movies that they've edited every once in a while, and then there's missing scenes and missing parts, and it irritates. But
and if you're a true fan, you get angry.
Yeah, it angers me. There's one in particular, but it's you got mashed potatoes. It's just got such great stuff. Love Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
All right, my honorable mentions go to the following.
Okay.
Trading Places.
Mm-hmm. It's a Christmas movie.
It takes place during Christmas, but there's nothing Christmassy about the film.
Very fun.
But Trading Places is a great one. Mm-hmm. Batman Returns.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Which I just recently watched.
Yep.
And matter of fact,
how was that?
It actually stands up better than Batman does.
Sure.
And there's a star from Batman Returns that's going to be on our show a little bit later today.
That's correct. He played Matt Schreck, I believe, in that movie.
He did indeed.
He's going to be on Skype here in a little bit.
Yep. And my final film to make the honorable mention is the movie Four Christmases. Stars Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Never seen it.
Which is fine. Anybody who has a significant other and then you both come from families of divorce will understand the humor of that, because with my ex-wife, we used to have to go to her father's, her mother's, my father's, and whenever you have to do that during a holiday, you can definitely get a lot of good humor out of being, having to deal with all your different families. So it's got some good gags in it.
That's cool.
Jon Favreau's in it as well, acting. It also has
the guy with the face,
the guy from King of Kong, not Billy Mitchell, Steve Wiebe is in it. He has no speaking role.
That's great.
But he is in the movie. They go to the house and he's like one of the brothers, and he's just constantly sitting there playing a video game,
That's
not
cool.
talking.
That's awesome.
But Steve Wiebe's in it.
That was Weeb. Oh, I'm sorry.
And then my final thing is not a movie, television show. Mm-hmm. It's a tradition I have every single year on Christmas Eve. I watch from season 6 of the X-Files. There's an episode called The Ghost Who Stole Christmas. Every single year on Christmas Eve, I watch that. I highly recommend it to our listeners. You can watch the X-Files on Netflix if you have it.
Netflix will be expecting a check.
The episode guest stars, Brandon's a big fan of him, Ed Asner, and Lily Tomlin.
He's a communist.
But the two of them are in the episode, and the episode takes place on Christmas Eve, and it's one of my favorite episodes of the X-Files.
Well, cool.
And I watch it every year.
Well, that's great.
So that was the last thing to make my list on honorable mentions.
All right, how are we doing on time? Is this a big time?
16 minutes in.
Okay, we need to talk about the movie we just watched.
All right, we just watched the movie X-Men: Days of Future Past.
I thought it was like Days of Fast Futures.
No,
Future Past.
Days of Future Past. Just like the comic book.
Days
of Future Past.
I'm trying to break that down.
Don't do it.
Okay, I can't break it.
Nope, you can't. It'll break your mind.
So it's the first time we both seen it.
Yep, correct.
And let's see what you think.
Initial reaction, not that great. Okay. Everybody loved it. It got great reviews. Everybody said it was the best X-Men movie. I still think First Class is the best X-Men movie. It wasn't a terrible movie, okay? But it was just I just kind of felt like it was blah, and the reason for that is convoluted time travel.
Like always.
Always. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, time travel is just never really done great.
Yeah, time travel is just way convoluted, and it was just aggravating at times. Now, I will say, the person I was watching it with got a little bit question-y about things. And as soon as we pause it to discuss it, we unpause it, and then it's the answer to the question you just posed.
That did happen a couple times, didn't it?
So I guess patience would have served us better.
Probably so. On my part.
And we probably should have paid more attention to it and not been talking so much.
Well, I'll tell you why. Is because I think, here's my beefs with the film. I'll tell you the good stuff. Special effects look good, like always. They were getting special effects pretty well. In these flicks, so that's not really part of a plus, I think, anymore. Almost, it's gotten so good. The problem I had with it is that I just want to see all the X-Men fighting something the way they do in the comic book. When you open up an X-Men comic book, they've got that double panel shot. Am I right? Stop me if I'm wrong. You're the comic book guy. You open up that panel, and everybody's in it, and they're all kicking something's ass.
Yep, that's happening.
Just give me that shot. They did that all through First Class too. I think First Class is a good movie. I don't know if I have a favorite X-Men movie. I think all these X-Men movies, we won't speak about Last Stand, okay? That's not part of it. That thing is just dookie on toilet paper, okay? This is the thing. I want to see them all fighting together. Like the moment in Avengers where Hulk and Thor are kicking ass together. Why can't we have that scene? First Class, they did that constantly. Here's my scene where I throw my little fireball. Here's my scene where I do, this guy does this. This other guy, here's the scene, and I'm like, I want to see y'all all kicking ass together. So you never see that, I don't think, in any of these damn movies, okay? Secondly, there's almost no action in this movie until the very end. There's a couple scenes here and there, very light on the action, and then all the action in this movie is all of the X-Men getting their ass kicked. They all get their ass kicked throughout the whole movie. And I might be spoiling this for somebody, so if you don't want to hear about the end of
skip ahead,
you can skip ahead or something. Yeah. The whole movie doesn't have any fighting, and you know how they win? By not fighting. That's how they win. She doesn't pull the trigger to do something. It's a movie of complacency, of us getting our ass kicked. You've got Wolverine with schluck, not schlick. So he's not kicking anybody's ass. He doesn't have the whatever it's called, adamantium. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, I want to see X-Men. I'm already ready for reboots for these movies. I will back reboots for these X-Men movies because I want to see these characters done properly from the start. I want to see Iceman, fully Iceman. I want to see Rogue flying, kicking people's ass the way that we've known her to be. And people say, oh, they're grabbing it from this and that. Well, you went crazy with the Dark Phoenix story. You went way too far with that.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. And now it's just like, at the end of the movie, it's truly like a wrap-up of, everything worked out great. And I'm like, what? This is ridiculous. You get Ellen Page to play Kitty Pryde, and she sits there with her hands beside his head pretty much the whole time.
And I got to be honest, Shadowcat didn't have that power to do that.
I don't know about that stuff.
She was able to phase through walls and shit.
They can pull one through on me with that. I don't know, but Bishop is. There's no character. There's no character in Bishop. There's no character in anybody.
So here's the thing.
It's the same thing. Man.
One of the goods for me, Halle Berry had one line. I think
that is good. They could have at least given her accent back from the first movie for that one line, but they'll never do that apparently. It's the same thing. It's the Professor X Magneto story. They've done that movie after movie after movie. And after First Class, they're like, not only are we going to give you both of these guys, let's give you both their old selves too, and put them all in the movie.
See, I didn't care about that.
It's Wolverine and those four dudes now.
Well, the funny thing was, you didn't even because they're doing the movie where they're in the future and they go back to the past. You didn't even really need Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen in the film at all.
Not at all.
Because you could have just done it with the surviving X-Men and they just not be part of it. Like, I don't know, man. It is what it is. It wasn't as great as I could.
No, I don't think it's as great as that. Everybody gets their ass kicked.
It's not terrible, but I'd give it maybe a B-.
Yeah, no, it's not a terrible film. I think it just goes along with all these other ones.
It was sold too high for me.
It was sold too high for me as well.
I'm glad I only spent $9 on it on Black Friday.
Well, this is the thing. There's some great parts in the first movie. There's some great parts in the second. I mean, the entrance with Nightcrawler going into the White House is an awesome scene.
Phenomenal.
And I just...
The best scene in this movie was Quicksilver.
You got these Sentinels. They kick everybody's ass in the beginning. They're weird, futuristic Sentinels. Then when you finally get the Sentinels, somehow Magneto's metal inside their body is able to control their electronic circuitry.
Yeah, to make them do what he wants.
This doesn't make any sense. There's many things where I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Hold on, Professor Xavier. You've got something. You take a shot in your leg, and you're no longer a paraplegic.
Get that cure out for people.
Yeah, how about if you help people out with that? Oh, I guess you have to be a mutant so it's going to stop the mutation and it's going to stop you from being a paraplegic.
Well, just keep it to yourself and be a junkie.
And then there's all of these movies. How many X-Men movies have there been? 12, 15?
72 X-Men movies.
72 X-Men movies. They wield Mystique with like a blunt fucking stone axe, man, in all these movies. I'm like, enough. I understand she's a big pull the rug out from underneath you. Ha, it was Mystique. We have seen it time and time again. How has this character had such longevity? Not only that, how the hell does Professor X look so old, but she's still Rebecca Romaine Stamos? Oh, Rebecca Romaine O'Connell. My bad. Sorry.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Rebecca Romaine when in the future.
I guess.
You see what I'm saying? She's like way younger than...
The thing is this. I look at that as she's making herself look that young.
Oh, I see. Well, that's pretty convenient for her.
I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
she just died.
She could be 80 years old, but she's going to make herself look young. So I can let that go.
There's just way too much convenience and weird, like some plot moments.
Yeah, there is. It's not. It wasn't. The film was oversold.
He's like the one mutant that we need to get to make this
The whole
program.
movie's a movie of convenience.
Yeah, the one mutant that wants me dead is the one mutant I need to get so that I can make these Sentinels, because somehow her ability to change her body into looking like someone else will allow these Sentinels to deflect heat or deflect ice. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense.
And the one mutant who can travel in time happens to be the mutant who, you know, has the ability to withstand that time of travel.
I mean, Wolverine's even...
And talk about thing of convenience. Because of your healing factor, you'll look the same age.
Right.
Like,
well, here's the thing, too.
You've aged all these years, so when you go back, you'll look the same age.
This is the thing. We finally got Sentinels in these movies, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much a staple. That's a staple of what the X-Men knows, right? You got
half Sentinels.
Half Sentinels.
Because again, I like the design. I like how they look. Right. They should have been 3 stories tall.
Yeah, they should have been huge.
That's the thing.
This is the thing, guys.
And why did they make them that way?
I don't know.
You could have.
You didn't have to make 8 of them or however many, 6 of them. You could have just made 2 big ones.
Because of the way they fought them in the movie, it wouldn't have mattered how big they were. They should have made them 3 stories tall. Because none of the X-Men did anything to them that they couldn't have done to a bigger version.
And that's what I'm just about to say. Think about this, people out there. If you like the movie or not, no big deal. But you have to at least admit this. We got Wolverine in a movie with a Sentinel. He didn't have his claws. He didn't cut one up to pieces. I don't know about you. I'm not a huge X-Men fan. But I know that I want to see Wolverine, like, just rip and cut through the chest of a Sentinel and bust out the other side. Like,
disappointed!
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't see that. And so I guess we're ready for Taco Lips, the next one, right?
I guess. I don't know who that was at the end of that trailer.
I don't know. So maybe the next one will be good. It's got Apocalypse in it, but, you know, Bryan Singer, I think, I don't know if he's doing it again.
He's stopped.
We've got to talk about one little thing before we get into the next part, because I don't know if we've talked about it, and it's something that's been going on out there. But that's all I've got to say about X-Men. I don't think it's a great movie. Oversold, like you said. Way too many plot issues. They get their ass kicked throughout the whole movie. Not only do they get their ass kicked, many of them die in their worlds. Mm-hmm. Who wants to watch that? I want to see them kicking ass. You haven't done that together. You know? In first,
they've taken ass kicking together.
Apparently so. They all band together. The X-Men of getting their asses kicked. So the other movie we need to speak about, and is going to be, this is going to be for Robert Womack, because I know he's a big Star Trek fan.
Okay.
Is this big push for Jonathan Frakes to direct the next Star Trek. It's almost as if everybody's living in a parallel dimension in which they forgot that this son of a bitch directed Insurrection.
With the Atari joystick.
With the Atari joystick. Now, I can't remember, did that have Assimilate This, or was that First Contact?
That's First Contact.
Which he also directed. First Contact is good, except on Earth. All the Earth parts are garbage. The rest of it is okay. But Insurrection is a steaming pile of poo, in my opinion. A lot of people like it. But that's the fucking movie where those people live for 500 years beside a lake and never learn how to swim. Ridiculous. The audacity.
They didn't have time.
And there's this
painting.
Dude, there's this huge push online. Let him do it. He wants to do it. Let him do it. I'm like, these people obviously have no clue that he's done this before. He's directed tons of stuff before. If you go and
lots of episodes of Burn Notice.
Yeah, lots of show stuff. I'm like, this guy's had his chance and he blew it. I'm like, no. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? They're like, it's a rite of passage. Like, they almost think like, yeah, it's Riker. I'm like, no, this is a guy named Jonathan Frakes who's done this before and failed miserably. So, no way. I give that a big thumbs down. Get the hell out of here. But you know what? On the flip side, there's no directors out there anymore. Who's directing shit? We got a handful of like 6 people. Tops. They're already tied into other things. J.J. Abrams already had his chance at it and blew it on the second movie, in my opinion. So who else is out there? Not very many people are out there. Peter Jackson's, he's, I
think sitting around right now is Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's waiting for a call. Oh my God. He's waiting for a call.
That's terrible. That's garbage. Christopher Nolan's, he's lost all, I've lost all respect for him.
He just did Star Trek. It's called Interstellar.
Oh, that's right. And it also has got major issues, from what I've heard. But
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know. But that's what I've got to say about that. Directors need to start making their name out there. They need to start getting out there. And you got, what's his face, doing Star Wars. What's his name? JJ. Yeah. So he's doing that. He can't be doing anything.
What about Favreau? What's Favreau doing? He's doing indie movies. He made Chef the movie.
Yeah, I'd give it to Favreau before I give it to anybody else. Even though, I mean, he made 3, didn't he? Did he do 3?
No, he did not direct Iron Man 3.
That's right, some other dude did.
That's, it was,
he did 1 and 2. Turd Burglar.
Shane Black
That's right.
did 3. Shane Black was in Predator. He played.
Oh, that's right.
He played one of the guys that was in Arnold's squad that got killed.
I know you're
That's
talking
Shane Black. Shane Black has written a lot of movies now.
Right.
Shane Black, I think, actually helped write the first couple Iron Man movies. Not a good director though.
Right.
The movie's bad. But I think he also wrote Lethal Weapon. I'm throwing that out there, or maybe did a rewrite on it. I could be wrong. He did something.
We're
with
wrong on a
Lethal
lot
Weapons.
of stuff. Let's just go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah,
and that's another
Don't take
thing.
everything we say as fact. You can check it yourself.
Right. And I know you. I know we got.
I'm going to say we're 65% accurate.
65%. I can go with that. For some new listeners out there that may be hardcore fans of some of the stuff we talk about, we do not believe that we're more hardcore fans than you because we're sitting in front of this mic talking about this stuff. Mm-hmm. We are very casual on a lot of things. We have opinions on them, and that's Go 8 Podcast. Am I right?
Yep.
We may get stuff wrong, incorrect. Feel free if you want to tell us that we're incorrect. I'll probably just laugh it off because I don't really care. But
we may even read your comments.
I know.
On the show.
I'll be like, wow, we were wrong. You really fucked up on that one, Jonathan. But speaking of movies, I guess it's time.
Nope, not time. Got one more thing.
What else do we got?
Go 8 Podcast wants to send out sincere get well soon wishes to the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton.
I thought he was okay.
Well, he still got broken shit in his back down there. I mean, he's walking around, but he's still got some fucked up shit in his back. He rolled his car 4 times.
He's really got some fucked up shit in his back.
I mean, has
he tried walking it off? That's all I'm asking.
Well, here's the thing. It was another drive by Cam Newton that ended in a turnover.
That's true.
So
I did read that as well in many signs.
So that was from Fake John Madden, I think, on Twitter.
Yeah.
That I saw that with first.
But hey, he didn't get hurt. Too bad. That's good. I mean, I don't have any. He's no Jake Delhomme.
Nobody wanted to get hurt, but I can't believe he survived that wreck. I mean, the whole top of that thing was crushed down on him.
There's only a handful of people that need to be hurt, in my opinion, and he's not one of them. He doesn't get that lofty goal.
Not yet.
Not that lofty status.
But hopefully he'll quit being such an asshole on the football field now and quit thinking that he's fucking Superman.
You see him get into that fight with the Saints?
No.
Yeah, they get into a big brouhaha.
No. All right, so now, moving on.
All right, what's next?
Where were you about to go a second ago?
Was he on or what? Do we have him up on Skype?
Hang on, let me see here.
Do you have any questions you need for him?
Not right off, but we'll see where it goes. Standing by, he's waving at me right now. Go 8 Podcast is proud to present and welcome to the show. Longtime friend of the show.
Agreed.
Our guest.
From the first episode, I think.
Oscar winner.
Oh, yeah. And star of the new Peter Pan live action NBC show.
Mr. Christopher Walken. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hello. How are you? Jonathan, Brandon. What's wrong?
Nothing. It's great to see you.
You always laugh when I call. I don't understand.
Well, you sound really clear to be on Skype.
Well, I'm not. You see, I'm actually... Brandon's doing the voice for me. But what do you want to know?
The magic's gone.
No, he's right here. Hey, Christopher, how's it going? Very good. Brandon, I see once again, you're very manly, very robust fella. Very funny as well. I've been listening to many of the episodes.
I'm not sure, but I think he just called you fat, Brandon.
What?
He said robust.
Well, Christopher, you were talking about my physique, my muscles. Oh, definitely. Look at you. You're very strong.
Looking at your pants.
All you need is glorious blonde locks of hair. That's all you need, and then you'll be fine.
Days of your hair are long past, my friend.
That is true. It's been a long time.
Mine, too.
So, Christopher, what do you think about the Go 8 Podcast? Well, it's very good. Once again, I've got to give kudos out to you. You're very good and funny. Your charisma's about an 18. Jonathan, you've been doing good too, but some of your song choices, not so good. I don't understand what they are. Why'd you pick these songs?
It's been one song that I've had apparent criticism for.
Well, that is true. I did get a little bit of a pushback from the Cure episode. There was no Cure song. I think that was what was...
You know what? I'm not here to...
Whoa, Jonathan, look.
I'm here to do what I want.
You've got the Cure. You've got to play a Cure song. Come on. Love song, Forest, maybe Lullaby, Boys Don't
Love.
Cry. No, that song's dookie. No good.
What about Just Like Heaven?
No good either. I don't like that one either. I'm sorry. You're crazy.
Then I played Burn from the Crow soundtrack.
It's pretty good. I like that one.
Okay, well, I got somebody behind me on that one.
So, fellas, what's the future going to be for Go 8 Podcast? I got to know.
We're going to transition from this into doing movie series.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And I've thought, we didn't name this one last time.
Okay.
The Jaws film franchise.
Oh, very good movies. I like the third one especially. Very good. It's very good because it's got Dennis Quaid. He's a good guy.
And we'll do the Batman films, which you were part of.
That's correct. I was in Batman 2, Batman Returns.
Right.
I starred Michael Keaton and myself with Michelle Pfeiffer. She played Catwoman.
Any good stories from the set with any of the actors?
No.
That's it.
That's it. I guess that's it for me. That's all. No good stories out of that film.
Just so you know, Chris, your movie made my honorable mentions for good movies to watch at Christmas time.
I appreciate that. You obviously know what you're talking about.
Right.
Brandon, you should have tried to throw maybe one of my movies in to the list. I'm sorry,
He wanted to do The Deer Hunter, but
Yeah.
he figured too depressing.
It's too upbeat.
Too upbeat.
It's a good film, The Deer Hunter. I made it, and it's an upbeat family film. So, well, look, fellas, I know you got a podcast to do. Maybe you'll do Joe Dirt in the future. You'll talk about Joe Dirt. I was in it. I played Clem.
They are making a Joe Dirt too.
That is true.
Now, what are you going to do to us if we don't review Joe Dirt?
I'm going to stab you in the face with a soldering iron. Come on, you know how that works.
Yes, we do. Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Well, thanks a lot. Guys, you're great. Everybody loves Go Ape Podcast. Shout out to all your friends. Watch me in several of my movies. True Romance being one of them. A great film. But, I'll be damned if I'm not going to be on the show again. I've got to be here. You guys are great. Especially you, Brandon. You appear to be of just an extremely man's man. Very impressed. You also have a very big bulge in your pants.
That's the socks.
Yes, it's the socks I put. But I appreciate it, Christopher. We're glad to have you on the show. And what other movies? What's one of your favorite Christopher Walken movies?
One of my favorite?
Yeah. Which one, Jonathan, do you like?
I really like the movie Suicide Kings.
It's a good film. I like it. I think it's good.
You're in it with Dennis Leary. He's
You're
your
right.
right-hand man.
I guess my favorite would probably be Pulp Fiction with him. Because it's got, very, very well quoted movie. So
Just a small part, though.
it's a small part, I know, but it's memorable, and that's what matters.
I guess.
Well, look, I've got to go. I've got some sushi waiting for me.
I'm having sushi for dinner tonight.
Very good. Enjoy it. What are you doing tonight, by the way?
I'm going out with a former producer of mine.
Oh,
We're
you
going
are?
out tonight to have some dinner, hang out, have a couple
Well,
beers.
have a good time, Jonathan. And as always, Brandon, it's very good to talk to you again. I love you. Goodbye, gentlemen. All right. Well, thanks. He's a big fan of mine, I
All
guess.
right, see you later.
Goofy.
That was Christopher Walken, Oscar winner and friend of the show. A little bit strange that he said he loves you.
I know. That is weird.
But, that's fine. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I mean, he sees talent. He's around talent all the time, so he knows, who I am.
Right.
So he was back on, so that's good. Hopefully we'll be in the future, maybe whenever we're talking about the end of the cartoon in 13 or 14 episodes. I can't remember how long it is.
I really honestly don't know if I'll live that long.
They're only 30-minute shows, 30-minute episodes.
I know.
All right, let's get to it.
All right.
Episode 14, Planet of the Apes
Episode 14,
TV show.
final episode.
What's it called?
The episode was called The Plane That Flew So High.
He's an idiot.
It's Up Above the World So High.
Which is a dumb name. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there.
Well, because, I'm sorry, Up Above the World, I think at maximum height that he got above the quote-unquote world was jumping off a cliff and being about 30 feet up.
Yeah,
So-
in essence, the world was still above him because he went down below the cliff.
Exactly. So,
It's not a great title.
but we'll get to that. We'll get to why he got down below the cliff.
That's right. So it starts off with Galen picking berries. Can't go wrong with that, right?
He's a gatherer.
Yep. He sees a human in a hang glider, and he calls it a flying reptile.
Yep.
Now, how does he not see the human that's on there? Like, how is his vision so poor? And Alan and Peter look up, and they know exactly what it is, and he's seeing a reptile that's flying.
Better yet, how did he not make out the person that was on the hang glider, but he made out the head sculpted dragon head that was at the front of the hang glider?
No clue. Poor
Because
vision.
that's smaller than the person was.
He's got poor vision. That's obviously what it is. He needs glasses.
It was a problem.
And another problem is that they don't have their backpacks on in this episode in the beginning. That's they do have their tank tops and their short shorts, and that's good at least. But no backpacks.
I noticed something when they first appeared. Mm-hmm. All right, and I want to say this.
Quaff-doos?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. It never occurred to me until this episode today when we were watching it, okay? Mm-hmm. First of all, your boy, Alan, his hair looked like Prince Valiant.
Yeah, he looked really, really nice.
Okay? Peter's hair get real poofy.
Yeah,
real out of
shag
control.
hair.
Okay?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. They don't have barbershops they can go to. Exactly. That's where I'm going with this. How the fuck have they been so clean shaven for 14 episodes?
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
I mean, we're talking to the cheek, smooth as a baby's
and
bottom.
You can tell that Alan's a big shaver.
Clean shaven.
Yeah, he
like, I don't understand how they've been shaving this whole time, and I never really thought about it until this episode.
Alan always has that look, when a man's got where he's just shaved, where he kind of has that kind of like gray sheen, you know what I mean, from the stubble and stuff. That's so he always has like he just obviously shaved just before he said action or act. Okay, but yeah, you're right.
No answers to that.
No answers to that. There's 2 gorillas on horseback. They see it flying, and the glider crashes. Our boys hide because the gorillas will come and check it out. But they hide from them, and they're able to get there before them somehow, even though these gorillas are on horseback. No clue.
But we've had a couple instances of that in the previous weeks.
That does. They're fast. They're fast on their feet. They help this silver-haired dude out who's crashed in the tree.
Yep.
And it's a human guy, and his name is Lurik, which is a weird name.
Be prepared, I may or may not say Leoric a couple times.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too. We're big Diablo 3 players, and I'm thinking about Leoric all the time.
I maybe calling him Leoric several times.
I also thought that...
But you do have the proper name there.
It's funny when you said that, because I was sitting there when I was writing this down, and I was like, try not to say Leoric. Try not to say Leoric. Okay, so I got dude. He says he can fly, which no human has done, because... obviously, he's taken Alan and Peter back to his kind of workshop to show him a model. He's made a model of a hang glider that he pumps with like a bellow to make it float in the air, and he shows them how it can fly.
But it's suspended from strings, so his whole plan is kind of poo-pooed.
I guess I don't know. And they're like, look, dude, you can't do this. You're going to be the target of the gorillas. Like, they're gonna kill you. They're not going to allow a human to fly. And he's pretty much like, look, I won't stop. He's kind of an ass throughout the whole episode, to be honest with you.
I would call him motivated.
Yeah, he is motivated. Yeah, he's dedicated.
He's not a quitter.
No, he's not a quitter.
I'll say that for him.
And he said they asked him if there's any place that he could go where the gorilla eyes won't be on him so much. And he says, well, there is a place that's superstitious to the apes, that they may be able to move there so as not to be seen. Which that superstition apparently didn't come true because they show up.
Oh yeah.
Switches back to the council. They're talking about these toys. They call it a toy. And it's the same thing as with in the very first in the Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes. When he shows the paper airplane, they say it's a toy. That's what Zira says. It's a toy. So they're calling it a toy. You've got Zayas there. You've got Urko there. You've got this new female chimp, whose name is Carsey, and she's not bad looking. Her makeup and stuff. I mean, she looks feminine at least. Yeah. They really went to town on her eyelashes to make them look female. And she says of course, Urko's like, of course, he's super skeptical, like always. So there's no change out of Urko. This Carsey says that they could benefit apes if we can learn about this flight. She tells them in the past, from some books, that apes used to be able to fly. Right?
Urko doesn't believe it.
Nope. He's skeptical. I got Zayas and Urko are skeptical. Zayas maybe not so much.
They laugh. They both laugh.
Yeah. Well, Urko's like, well, if anybody had a book like that, they'd be killed.
Yeah, if anybody had it, if that book existed, that'd be destroyed.
And just what a weird way to go. I mean, that's no argument. You know what I mean? Oh, you've got something that contradicts what we believe? Well, you'll be killed. I mean, how do you go and sleep on a pillow at night like that? Think about that.
Well, he sleeps on a big pillow.
Probably so.
Head of the army.
Probably so.
And that's how he got there, is by upholding their beliefs. Nope. Disagree with us? We're to murder you.
She says, if it's worthless for apes to fly, why did their ancestors pursue it? Why did they do it? Because supposedly in this book it says they could.
And their laughter stops.
Yeah, they're kind of like, oh, well, I guess so. Peter has found like a big... What the hell's he found? Lightning struck...
Yeah, lightning struck the beach. Yeah. And what it did was it basically turned a huge mound of sand into glass.
Yeah. And
he basically has, I would say it's the size of... like 3 Big Macs if you try to hold them in 2 hands.
Grapefruit.
It's like, it's just a huge chunk of glass.
And he's trying to work on it to make a magnifying glass. Really for no other reason, just to impress Galen. But it turns into a huge plot device later, so that's helpful.
He's like, hey, you mind if I take this and polish it up? Now, I want to say, polishing that huge piece of glass would have taken forever.
You'd have to chip it down. He chips it down, obviously, to like a...
Well, I mean, you almost would have been better to build a rock tumbler and just sit there and...
He's an astronaut.
You're right.
I don't have the mind of an astronaut.
When you're right, you're right.
Okay. Galen runs up. He's like, they've captured Lurik. or Leoric if you're a Diablo 3 player. And so Carsey shows up in the town because she's been at the council, obviously, Ape Central City, whatever it's called, and she talks to the head gorilla in that area. Once again, the sergeants, the Silver V. His name's Konag, and he tells them that there is, that he can deal with the human for a short while, but that she's going to pretty much be taking over his living quarters. And so there's a bit of a tension, and she's like, look, I'm from the council. I'm going to deal with him for a little bit. I'm going to talk to him, and you can get your stuff out of here because I'm a beast. He's like, that's my quarters. He's real aggressive with her, and I think the guy's kind of cool. He's got kind of a cool look to him, kind of aggressive. And they're like beating the shit out of this old silver-haired Lurik. Why'd you even say that? Now I'm thinking about that all the time. I gotta go play some Diablo 3. They're working this guy over. One gorilla's beating his ass, which is kind of funny. And she comes in and she's like, you'll stop that right now. She shows him compassion. You'll clean this guy up. And he's kind of like, why are you helping me? Why is an ape helping me?
And she tells him that basically you can get the same results by just friendly conversation. Just being nice with the person, talking to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy's so hell-bent on building his hang glider that he doesn't care about not sharing information with apes, like as if Peter and Alan would be.
Right.
Where they're like, we're not going to tell you anything. This guy's like,
you're
going to help further my cause?
Great.
Well, I'll tell you everything.
Yeah. I'll put you in the know. Okay.
He's like, you want to get to the same place as me?
Right.
Let's go together.
So Peter goes and talks. She's got like a human servant, dude. And Peter goes and talks to him, trying to get some information about her and what's going on. Intel. Yeah, he does a little bit of reconnaissance, if you wish. Undercover work. And
Peter really had to dumb himself down for this conversation.
True, he did. He kind of was just like, what's going on?
This your cart with these horses?
Because
you came all the way from Ape City?
Which is weird because some of the people talk stupid in the beginning of this show, and then they don't really. Like other people just kind of talk normal.
Oh, yeah, that guy who found him in the very first episode?
Oh, yeah. Well, he
took him to the cave?
He was living out in that cave, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
He was almost like a caveman. Slightly cavemanish.
These fruit good.
Well, Carsey says that she's a scientist, and she asks if he has figured out how to fly. And so she's obviously trying to get on this guy, Lurik's good side. Galen also tries to bluff a gorilla to get some info on the flying reptile that he saw. So Peter and Galen are trying to attack it from both sides, and much like a Chinese finger trap. Lurik shows Carsey how some of the tools works, that he's got there. She's kind of like, well, these are ape tools, but I don't know how they work, and she thinks that it's like a planer or something, and she uses it as a hammer, yada yada. He pretty much shows her how it works, and so in walks the Galen's Ruse of the episode. It couldn't be a last episode of this TV show without a Galen's Ruse. He shows up as Protus. And he's trying to pry information out of her. Now, you can instantly see a type of rapport that they have. Because you find out...
Sexual.
Yeah, sexual rapport. Carsey doesn't like orangutans or gorillas, you find out. She thinks that chimps are smarter, which they are, and that they should have more power. So that plays into the episode a little bit later on. So she says there'll be a demonstration, and that he should stay and see it in 5 days. So a demonstration of this hang glider.
Which technically doesn't that make her a racist? She thinks that her species is superior?
Well, no, I think she thinks that they should be in higher positions of authority. And they're not. Because they're not as... Even though... Which I don't understand. I'm like, how... If you're so smart of the three... Which is not true, because I do believe the orangutans are smart. If the three of them... How did they lose power? How did gorillas not... I guess the way that... Now, how did chimps not gain power is because they weren't violent enough, I guess. You know what I mean? It shows you that violence can put you into high places.
I guess.
I don't know. So, I've got here Galen putting on the charms. Because these two are just all over each other in this episode. And you think you're going to see some hot chimp-on-chimp action.
Disappointed again.
Well, I know. And if it came up, I was ready to dodge below your seat because I was afraid you were instantly trying to get to your pants real quick.
My hand was already there.
Oh, Jesus. So the boys talked to... they found out that they need to make a functional glider for this lure. Because they look at his glider and they're like, yeah, this thing's not going to cut it, dude. The boys make some sort of glue out of some stuff, which Galen just instantly starts tasting, which...
Yeah.
Don't just taste something like
Well,
that.
I mean, he said it was made of oil and I think sap, tree sap. So I don't know if apes normally eat tree sap, but
I guess so.
he was like,
He knows his tree sap.
He's like, let me get some of this.
He'll try some, and then you believe that he's tasting it, even though his mouth is quite rigid.
They told him to help apply it.
Yeah, they're like, you need to apply some of this. They go up on the cliff because they're going to try out the glider that they're going to use.
But he can't help apply it. Why?
He has opposable thumbs.
He's glued his hands together.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I thought you were
He's
going
glued
that
his hands together like a moron.
There is a... Well, see, the thing is, it was trying to be funny. There's moments of this episode that try to be funny. It's not funny.
Yeah, it was a miss.
Yeah, it was a miss. And there's another miss.
Neither of us laughed.
Yeah, neither
it was
of us
just kind of
laughed.
like...
I thought you were doing the opposable thumbs thing again,
No,
which I proved correct.
No, he doesn't have
won
opposable
this.
thumbs.
We need to go back to this other episodes, and we need to splice in some sort of disclaimer at the very end that's like, Brennan was correct about the...
You weren't correct.
Okay.
Continue.
So they break the news that Galen will be the one flying it for a test, and he's like, "No way!" And they're like, "Well, look, we can't fly it. It's they can't. A human can't be seen flying it. They'll be shot. An ape won't be flying it." And he's like, "I'm putting my foot down." And it shows him slam his foot down on the ground, and then it's actually him getting ready to take off on
next
the
thing you know, it's him sitting on the glider about ready to take off.
Well, they persuaded him pretty good.
Yeah, with the fist.
So I've got they're gonna beat his ass. I've got Galen's flying ! So he's flying, he's having a good old time, and he lands pretty soundly too, which no one else is able to do. So the first time he's gotten into a glider, he lands on the beach. Yeah, very well done, Galen.
Congratulations.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
You're drunk. You are drinking. Jonathan's drunk right now, by the way.
I'm not drunk.
Not yet.
I will be later.
So they go and tell... actually, Carsey tells them that the demonstration is going to be happening a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Tells Galen that. And Galen tells the... he says, "Look, your glider won't work, dude." He's telling that to Lurik. He said, "But we've built a good one, and they want to smuggle in their good one so that he won't die on his glider." So they're trying to help this guy out. Of course, he's being an asshole throughout the whole thing. And Alan decides that they need to sabotage his glider. It's like, let's not worry about trying to get ours in. Let's try to get the hell, let's try to sabotage his. Let's try to stop his shit glider that he's got.
Right.
So Protus shows off the magnifying glass that Peter has made for him. He calls it an expander. And of course, it does impress Carsey a lot, too, because, again, it's the intellect of the chimp. She's seeing something new for a change. That makes her all kind of the warmies down below, and she wants more Galen. Understandable.
The warmies.
So he lays the glass up on high, like the magnifying glass high, and, of course, he puts it in a good spot with the sun coming in. Guess what happens? You can see it coming from a mile away. Catches the glider on fire.
Well, we all did as kids with magnifying glasses.
Of course, take that, ants.
I never kill ants.
I did a piece of paper.
I used to, just
I
burn
did G.I.
stuff.
Joes too.
I would burn wood.
I burned G.I. Joes.
Like I would grab
Their faces.
like pieces of bark off a tree and just start those.
Hobos, a couple hobos. I did it too. Okay, so of course she's very impressed with Galen's brain, and she says something about penetrating in that scene, which is all right. She's starting to go there. She's starting to use words like penetrating. Of course, the glider's on fire. It's a complete loss. And she figures out that the expander's what did it. And she's actually kind of impressed. And he's like, well, you'll be the first one to... I'm going to give you credit for the fact that now that you're the first person to make a magnifying glass burn something. A expander burn something. So, again, giving her kudos or something.
And she was like, thanks, I guess. Because she was like, I don't want to be known for the person who burned up this glider.
Well, Galen says, look, I've got two humans that'll put it back together. They're rascals, of course.
Rascals.
Which that was the only
first use of rascals. It made us both bust out
laughing. We had a good
laughing.
laugh. I thought he's used rascals before somewhere.
I don't know if he has or not.
But it was very well put.
To me, it felt
they're
like the first
rascals,
time
of course. He says they're rascals, of course. But that, of course, man, it's very funny. So Peter and Alan show up with their new parts. Lurik gives them grief, of course, for his glider. And I got here, Carsey has the hots for Galen because they start to have a little powwow in the dark, very close mouth. You're ready for them to smooch at any moment. And so Carsey says that she wants a chimp in the High Council or in a high position. Mm-hmm. That's her main goal. Konag, he says that he shows up and he says that Urko believes that the humans won't fly. It's not going to happen. Of course, that's pretty normal on their side. Peter and Alan tell him that, hey, look, they're through and we need to talk to Galen privately. Because they've spotted a box, okay? And Galen has like, look, y'all go, because I'm about to get my freak on with this lady chimp here. I got here. Galen wants them to go because he wants to get some hot action.
Right.
He's like, you're cock blocking me here, fellas. I'm about to get all pruny and so he's
from all the Pooh Nanny.
Yeah, from all the Pooh Nanny. So they question him about what's that? Did you see the box that's in her room? That's called fragmentation, something or other. And they're like, look, it's bombs. She's got bombs in her room.
Yep.
Okay, like a case of bombs. And he says, you need to find out, like, what does she want to do with them? So Galen goes in, he asks her about the box, and she pretty much lets the secret fly. Look, if he can teach us how to fly, then the Counselor Urko and the High Council, Urko, Zayas, all of them, they could be destroyed by bombs because they're pretty much protected from the ground. We can fly in at night, drop bombs on them, murder them. She says, she's got contempt for all the other ape types. And this is kind of the first time we've really seen this in the show. It'll be the last, sadly. So Alan and Peter grab Lurik and they tear up the glider because they're like, we got to get out of here. She's got bombs. She's gone nuts. Let's destroy the glider. We'll take Lurik out with us. Peter and Galen are fighting a gorilla, which is kind of cool. Galen gets the last hit on him. And Lurik gets shot in the hand, and him and Galen get captured. Okay? Peter and Alan make an escape, and you find out that they're going to be executed. Carsey tells Kodag that one of his guards will have to take his place, where he's like hell they will. My guys aren't going to do that. Alan uses a slingshot to give a message to Galen, which he reads and then swallows it. Which, I guess he didn't have to really do that. I don't think they were instantly going to check his body.
I don't know why he did that either.
They're back at the test site. This is the site to take off and see if Lurik can fly out of the area. They've posted up some gorillas around the area, and if he flies out of that, like he's going to escape, they're going to shoot him down. Okay? Konag's there, Carsey's there, and Galen says, look, he can't fly with one hand. He's all busted up. He's got a shit hand, for crying out loud.
And the guy goes, hold up hand.
Yeah,
see?
Yeah, I got a dumb hand over here. This other, I need them both. And he kind of alludes that he will not fly. He kind of throws it out like Galen's like, well, I'm not, I'm not flying that. And they're like, hey.
Well, because instantly, is it Keurig?
Konag.
I made him a coffee maker.
Yeah.
Instantly, he's like, well, I'm not going to risk the life of any of my gorillas. Yeah. So the test is over. Test is canceled.
She's like, no.
And then that's when Galen goes, more Galen Drews.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you're not going to make me fly that thing. He goes,
no, sir.
If I'm going to be sentenced to death, I want a good old firing squad.
Yeah. Which I'm like, gorilla doesn't kill ape. Ape doesn't kill ape.
Cut to.
Yeah.
It's instantly in the hang glider.
Yeah, they've got him. Both of them are going to be there together on the hang glider.
Well, now, did the other guy run up last second and jump on? Or
that was the plan. That was the plan because he was going to teach Galen how to fly it. He said, you only need another hand, so we'll put Galen up there. Plus, Carsey's like, and I need to know if he can take on extra weight anyhow for her bombs, you see.
Exactly. And
then they take off, and this is truly two men on a hang glider, correct?
Yes, absolutely. There's no mistake in it. These are two real people on this hang glider.
Flesh and blood, bone, everything.
Moving.
Yep. Living, breathing.
Yep.
Barking. Some of them are barking.
Yep.
No. This is a man that's obviously on this hang glider, and he has a terrible, terrible dummy on his back.
Yep.
For the far out shots.
It's amazing.
Very funny. His legs are rigid as a board. His feet are rigid as a board.
Yeah.
And me and Jonathan had a good laugh at that. So, all of a sudden, there's a slingshot that rings out, and Alan, of course, crack shot that he is, he's grown up on a farm. He's a woodlands guy. He knocks out one of the gorillas. Okay. Actually, it was Peter. I was trying to take credit for that.
Don't try to do
I'm
that.
so used to Alan doing all the heavy work.
Bullshit.
Peter throws a rock, says something about him playing baseball. So
yep.
I just instantly, anytime anybody gets their ass kicked, I usually go to Alan or anything good. So I am kind of like that. He knocks the gorilla out, and I've got Super Dummy on Chimp's back. Super Dummy. So they start to leave the marked area, and they get fired upon. They land in the water, and this is just the unraveling of this episode.
I would say crash in the water.
Yeah, they crash into the water. They don't land. They crash into the water. Carsey's instantly like, she's standing beside Konag, and she's like, oh, they're dead. And with them goes the secret of flight. And they just turn their backs. They give them roughly 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Of splashing around in the water. And then, oh, they're dead. And with them goes the mystery of flight. And, the secret of flight. And they turn their back and they start walking off. I'm like, that's it? Like, your whole plan was based upon maybe them not seeing you now Peter and Alan make a raft. They have a raft nearby and go save them on the raft.
How'd they not see the raft?
Yeah.
Because that raft had to be out there already.
Well, all you had to do was just sit there and wait, and be like, oh, man, I guess they didn't make it. Well, hold on, there's some dudes showing up with a raft.
Count to 30.
Well, not even, yeah, I mean,
do something, stand around for a couple of minutes to see if they come up.
I say, I've got here, Galen's a bitch about the water. Because he really has.
Please get us back to the land.
He wishes he was shot instead, because he thinks he's going to drown. And that's really sad, the last episode of this TV show.
I got to be honest with you, though.
Galen's a bitch.
I got to be honest with you. I'd rather be shot than drown, though.
Oh, sure.
To be honest with you.
Well, it's a terrible way to go.
But yeah, they're like this. He's like, please get us back to land as soon as possible. And they're like, no can do, Galen. And they're like paddling out to sea. That's it. Off to the sunset.
And the end of the Planet of the Apes TV show. I gotta say, I wish this wasn't the last episode. I wish if I could have changed it, I would have switched around and put the legacy at the end. That would have been the last episode of this TV show. Because that was the episode with the holograms and the future of the show and the vaults.
Yep, showing what they need to do.
That would have shown. So I don't really like the fact that this is not a finale
whatsoever. And I don't like that the legacy was so early on. We never saw anything else with one of those episodes.
Exactly. And I wish if you're going to give us something and leave it hanging, truly, I'd rather it not be Terrible Dummy's feet off the back of Galen, the stunt double that was playing Galen. I would rather see it be a story-driven thing like the legacy. So, what's your thing about this episode? What do you think about this episode? I'll go into mine, and then we'll do our 30 minutes each wrap-up of Planet of the Apes TV show.
All right, well, to start with the episode, it's not a bad episode.
No?
It's a pretty good one. Like I said, the guy's kind of an ass. The dummy saved it.
Yeah, dummy was fun at the end.
But not enough action compared to some of the other episodes.
There was one fight scene.
Yeah, like one fight scene, and that was towards the end of the episode. Right. That was probably about 30 minutes in.
Right.
So, normally, sometimes we're getting it straight out the gate.
Yeah,
with fighting.
Oh, yeah.
So, for me, middle of the road episode, but some good parts overall.
I agree. I agree with that soundly. I wish the show hadn't gone out like this as the last episode. It's not a terrible episode where I wouldn't watch it again. Like I said, when we watch this through, I won't be like, oh, it's this episode. It just, it's lukewarm at best. Her character, Carsey's kind of neat. I like the Konag guy. Lurik is a bit of a turd. Alan and Peter are great, of course, like always. Galen's a bit of a bitch at the end. I don't want to see Galen go out like that. That's unfortunate. But, and then overall, it's just, it's kind of neat that there's all of a sudden this chimp that's ready to, no, Ape has not killed Ape. And you've got Galen about to be shot, Galen about to be shot by a firing squad. And a chimp female wanting to drop bombs and kill tons of apes. So it's completely out of character for, the kind of civilization that they have here on the TV show. But, they don't really do that whole ape doesn't kill ape thing as much on the TV show.
Right.
It's not as focused, I don't believe. But, I
don't think you really ever hear it.
I don't know if you do, but to me it's still in the
We'll find out next time we watch it.
Yeah, it's still in the whole kind of, canon of the everything. So let's see what you think about the TV show. That's your 30-minute wrap-up.
All right. Well, to begin with, overall, the show is an A. Mm-hmm. Solid A.
Oh, yeah.
Even with its, taking away of episodes like that aren't as great, the show is phenomenal. When we last time around when we watched everything, when we got to the cartoons, I was like, man, I want to get back to the movies. When we got to the movies, I was like, I really want to get back to the TV show.
Yeah, me too.
So I do enjoy watching the TV show. We've now seen all the episodes twice. Mm-hmm. It's a really well put together show. The casting is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. James Naughton, Ron Harper, Mark Leonard playing Urko, mm-hmm. Roddy McDowell, of course. They are just, it's such a stellar cast, and they're all great in the show. You have some great guest stars, mm-hmm. Some cameos by people who at the time weren't big, but mm-hmm. later on went to do other things. It's just a really great show to watch. I recommend anybody go out and buy it. What was it, like $20 for you? When you
less than that, 15 maybe.
Yeah, $15, man, for like 14 episodes.
If you're a Planet of the Apes fan, of the originals.
Yeah, of the originals, you should own this television show. Because and it's kind of a black mark on me that I don't own it, that I haven't purchased it yet. But yeah, I will end up buying it.
Just like the cartoon, you'll get it.
No, I'm not buying the cartoon. But the show is great, and I think anybody who's a fan of Planet of the Apes should buy it. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, and you've already heard what they're about if you've been listening to this, so we've pretty much spoiled all the episodes. But not that there's anything to spoil, if you think about it.
Yeah, not really.
Because the show's over. It's done. It's...
Well, I'm sorry. There's got to be a moratorium on spoilers. The show was in 1974.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Time of 40 years ago.
Yeah. So,
So these are 40-year-old spoilers.
Well, I mean, there could be people that were interested in the TV show, but they just need to beat us to it. That's all. You watch an episode before us, get on it. So,
yeah. So that's my 30 minutes. Your turn.
Wow, that was quick.
Time flies when you're talking about good stuff.
That's true. I really like the TV show. Obviously, I've said that many, many times. There's a lot of standout great episodes in it. The Trap, The Legacy. I do like The Cure as well. I like The Tyrant, of course, with my boy Aboro. So Ron Harper and what's that other guy's name? Peter. Whatever. James Naughton, is that what it is? Knotts. They're great. I like the when I first saw the first episode, I was like, I like the chemistry, I like the writing, I like the situation. This is going to be good. And it lived up to that, I think, ultimately at the end. There's no episode that is an absolute trash episode. Like, I hate this damn episode. No. Skip this damn episode.
No.
Because you're going to get some fighting, you're going to get some action, you're going to get some weird wackiness out of Urko or Galen or something kind of weird that happens.
Ruses.
Yeah, ruses. We've said that probably about 90 to...
Maximum ruses.
Yeah, about 90 times, I think we probably said
Maximum
that.
times.
Maximum amount of times you could say the word ruse. So, it's just a great addition to the Planet of the Apes, original Planet of the Apes movies. I think that it's a shame that a lot of people probably have never seen it. It's a shame that it didn't get at least one more season. And I will talk about several of the flaws I think that are innate in the show. One of those being the fact that I think that their structure nowadays, it needed to have a different type of structure. It needed to have a almost, the way that a lot of our shows are now, where they're episodic, real episodic, where one episode goes into the next, to the next, to the next.
Serials.
Yeah, serials. They wanted to highlight many differences of plots and stories within this new world of the Planet of the Apes that they had created. And so I think that was probably their hurdle in doing that. But unfortunately, it didn't give us a storyline that we can grab onto and be anxious about for down the road. Granted, the Vaults episode is with the holograms talking about these secret vaults. That was the taste, the little teaser that could have been. I don't know. Would they have ever gone back to that? I'm not sure. Because the show was just sort of a melange of different type of stories.
Get their asses out of Southern California.
Yeah,
go somewhere else.
But it's a fun show. It's got ass kicking, lots of fights. It's got a lot of horseback. It has some post-apocalyptic stuff. Of course, I would have loved to have a lot more. And I'm certain if the show would have gone on and have been a bigger hit. I know it was a big hit in England. I've said that in the early days of this podcast here. But maybe they could have done bigger and better. It was their first season. But it's just a real shame that I think if you're a Planet of the Apes fan of the original movies, I think these go right along with them, giving you a little extra. And that's what a TV show...
Or extra, yeah.
That's something that you want out of a TV show that's based on a movie. You want it to give you what you had with some extra. And a little slightly different. I don't mind that the humans can talk. I don't mind all the little issues about West Coast, East Coast, blah, blah, blah. It's its own little thing. It works out well. I just think they should have had some ongoing plots. Urko's the same. Alan and Peter and Galen are the same from episode 1 to the last episode. There's no underlining storylines.
Well, I heard that they never got to do it, but apparently Peter was going to be a father. He had impregnated several girls along the way.
Oh, you're talking about humans or apes?
Humans. Damn. So Peter was going to, in later seasons, like...
Just the ape of us.
Slow up with some female shows up with his love child.
Could be.
So
he did like the ladies a lot. He was yeah. But all the ladies seemed like Alan. But I don't know.
He had the guns.
That's true. A blind girl liked Peter though, so I give him that. All right.
So I can't argue it.
Yeah,
I can't argue. That's fact.
The Tyrant. That was the episode with the holograms and the vaults. But great show.
Legacy.
Was it Legacy? Tyrants of Aboro. I'm getting it. Don't worry, we'll be watching them again.
Yep.
So yeah, overall...
Such is our pact.
Yep, I love it a lot. Anybody, if you're an original Planet of the Apes fan, and you've got somebody out there, some jackass, right? And they foo-foo any of the other Planet of the Apes movies from the original series, the original series of movies. Like, I didn't watch those other ones, like Escape and...
Well, that's understandable.
That's good. Conquest...
Conquest is good.
They need to be you might want to rough talk them a little bit or beat them up.
Battle's good. Keep in mind, you're going to watch probably about an hour and 30-minute movie, and it's only going to be like an hour and 15 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of recycling going on at the end.
And then if they really talk smack about the TV show...
Punch them in the face.
Or smile, nod your head, okay. When they turn their back,
shiv them.
Yeah, no, you just push them in the mud.
Oh, okay.
If you see a mud puddle, they're walking by it, just push them down.
I was going from like step 1 to step 4.
Well, that was murder. That's murder. That's against the law.
Well,
you're just telling you slip.
It's justified. It's justified.
Justified. That's true. It's a good show. And segueing into that is a less good show called Return to the Planet of the Apes. It's a cartoon that came on in 1975.
Which is where we have lifted our intro music from.
That's correct. That'll be what we're going to start on.
Which is the only good thing that's given us.
Correct. And I will also say that we've got some... It's the holidays here, so our schedule may not be as firm as it has been. And I think, other than a couple of weeks here and there where we haven't done an episode and people wailed and cried and beat their fists because they didn't have a new episode of Go 8 Podcast.
Right.
Hopefully they'll get through these holidays times if, for some reason, our schedules can't sync up. Because, I mean, this is making magic here. You know what I mean? This doesn't just... It's not the seat of off the seat of our pants here. We're making some real art.
And if we don't have a show next week by some chance, we would like to take this opportunity to wish all of our loyal listeners a Merry Christmas.
That's correct.
And all of our first time listeners a Merry Christmas.
Agreed. And next time you talk to me, I'll have a new daughter.
It's true.
She's going to be born on Wednesday.
Well, the date keeps changing.
The date changed. They were full. Can you believe that? The hospital's full on Monday. They were booked. So my wife is being induced on Wednesday. So I will have a new baby, new human life form in my house.
And hopefully you will understand me not being there immediately on Wednesday, as I will be a Fleetwood Mac.
You are a Fleetwood Mac fan, so
you know
myself.
You know what? I'll come back from Fleetwood Mac concert probably around midnight, 1 a.m.
Bring Lindsey
I'll just
Buckingham.
come knock on the door.
Bring Lindsey Buckingham with you.
Okay.
And Stevie Nicks, if you wish. Christine McVie.
I would bring Christine McVie.
Mick Fleetwood.
Okay. And other guy.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
What's the other guy's name?
It's Lindsey Buckingham, Mick Fleetwood. There's only 2 guys.
No.
There's only 2 guys, dude. Mick Fleetwood,
It's not 2
Lindsey
guys and 2
Buckingham.
girls.
Yes, it is. Mick Fleetwood, Lindsey Buckingham, Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks.
There's another guy.
He'll find out on Wednesday. So that's Fleetwood Mac, and my daughter. So he's hitting the internet now to find out.
So who's this third guy in this picture? That's Mick Fleetwood. That's Lindsey Buckingham. That's Christine McVie. That's Stevie Nicks. Who's the other guy? Exactly, dude.
Where's this picture from? Go to IMDb or something.
No, trust me.
What's
That
guy's name? Who is that?
I'll tell you right now. Hang on. Fleetwood Mac. He's the guy that I think plays their bass.
No, that's whatchamacallit. That's Christine McVie's husband.
John McVie.
John McVie.
There you go. I told you.
Yeah. He's kind of forgetful.
I can't believe that. You really attacked me on that. There's only 2 guys, man.
Well, I thought there was only 2 guys. Like I said, look, he's down low on the picture. I didn't see
You didn't see him.
He's very forgetful.
Somebody out there was screaming John McVie.
John McVie. Nobody.
Dude, Fleetwood Mac's pretty big.
Do you know how old they are?
I don't know.
Ancient.
$1 million?
They're ancient.
I don't care, dude. I'm
They're
seeing
good.
Fleetwood Mac.
How come I'm not invited? Where are they coming?
Atlanta. I have to go to Atlanta.
Good Lord!
Yeah, it's closest they're coming to here.
How much were those tickets?
My tickets were $90 a piece.
Oh, who were you going with?
My sister. We're going.
Oh, okay.
She paid for hers.
You've paid much
She paid
more
it
for
back.
tickets to stuff.
I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
It's fine. My sister and I also went to a concert for Alicia Keys.
Well, people probably know who Alicia Keys is.
I mean, we did VIP tickets for that meet and greet, sat in the second row. I mean, it was...
She cleaned off your face with a napkin.
Yeah, she kissed me. We made out a bit.
Jeez.
It was good.
Did she have dead eyes? Like she'd seen a million dead babies?
You do say she has dead eyes, but
does.
whatever. It's Alicia Keys.
You paid a lot. Let's just say that.
You know what's really funny about that, though? When my sister and I went to that concert, my sister's wife was like... She goes, Christina, who are you going to the concert with? And this is before they were, really together. And my sister was like, I'm going with my brother. And she was like, come on, Christina, seriously, who are you going to that concert with? Like, she would not believe that my sister was going to the concert with me. She thought my sister was going with somebody else. Like,
yeah.
And she was like, you can tell me, seriously, I won't be angry. Like, she wouldn't believe for an instant that she was going with me to that concert.
Well, you do get your choice of concerts are very kind of swingy.
I have an eclectic music taste.
I would say so. And not very focused. I would say that as well.
Well, we can't all love Tool, who puts out an album once every 10 years. So
we're going on, I think, what is it?
It's 2014. It's about to be 2015.
Oh, my God.
It's been like 10 years, dude.
It's been 9.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Well, they've had lawsuits.
You know what?
They've had people get injured.
Maybe I can get my good friend Eddie McClintock on the show.
Oh, yeah, you are good friends with him.
And Eddie McClintock is good friends with
Maynard?
Wow. So they're buddies.
That's
so
cool.
maybe he could explain to us what the hell is going on.
This will probably be their last album, I believe.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have his voice anymore, he said. And he's getting older. And his type
and he's got a winery.
Yeah,
he's making wine.
He's making wine. So, what else? Anything else we got? I think that's about it. We're starting to get on time, aren't we?
Yeah, well,
Kind of along the tooth.
It's fine. No, I thought you said this was a big episode.
It is a big episode. It is a big episode.
Oh, I mean, we only been going about an hour and 14 minutes. We need to hit 7 hours.
Okay, 7 hours it is. 7-hour long podcast for this one.
All right.
So, we're going to do Return of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
If you want, if it's so arduous to you, we can try to do 2 episodes of the TV show.
We'll see how it goes. We'll start with 1. We'll see how it goes. I do want to say this also. I want to make an amendment earlier to what I said when I said Merry Christmas, everyone. Just to be PC, I'd also like to say Happy Hanukkah, have a crazy Kwanzaa.
No, don't have a crazy Kwanzaa.
And Happy Holidays to all of you who do not celebrate any of those things. So just Happy Holidays.
And I say Merry Christmas. There you go.
Christian.
No.
Then who cares? Just say Happy Holidays.
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't sound right. Too much on the mouth. Happy holiday. Look how much my mouth is having to move when I say that.
Try saying VHS.
No, that's brutal.
You said
it
it
earlier. I know. I nearly vomited. I taste a little bit of throw up in my
I have
mouth.
the same problem now when I say DVD. DVD.
DVD. Ugh, what a botch.
Dude, I've already moved past Blu-ray. I've told you. Back on digital. Back on digital.
You're a digital man. So yeah, that's the TV show. Yeah, I'm just really upset that it's over.
I'm kind of upset the TV show's over too. I really liked it a lot. I'll miss Peter and Alan.
We need to get action figures. The original action figures.
Do they have them?
Yeah, they got them.
I would have bought them by now.
They got a Peter one. They got an Alan one.
Well, you only need the Peter.
I need the Alan one. That's the
Peter
one
comes with Kung Fu grip.
But he's got the muscles. He's got the thick bulge. I mean,
Alan comes with a plow and a hoe for his farming.
He's got skills.
Peter comes with
like a pick for his hair.
Peter comes with detachable legs that you can then do like karate kick poses with if you put the other legs on.
He's very bendable.
And drop kick legs he has also.
Yeah, we need to get those action figures.
Well, this is the last Go 8 podcast episode. It's been a good ride.
It is not the last Go 8 podcast.
we don't know. We'll see.
We just said that it blows up. We got Go 8. It's Go 8 podcast 2.0 is what we just announced last week. Okay, Go 8 podcast 2.0. It's going to happen after the cartoon.
Right.
Okay.
Can't get here soon enough.
Like I said, we can do 2 episodes of the cartoon if you want to get it here quicker.
We'll see.
But
we may have a trouble filling with only a 30-minute episode of the cartoon.
Exactly. Just to entice. What's going to be the first thing we hit after Return of the Planet of the Apes cartoon?
We haven't talked about it. We're just
what would you like to do?
There's so many things, man. Okay, I'm going to throw out choices. Okay?
And I'm trying not to fart, but go ahead.
I'm going to throw out choices. Don't do that while we're doing the podcast. Back to the Future. Trilogy.
Okay.
Jaws series. Rocky series.
Okay. The problem with Rockies is that, except for, 1 and
6.
Well, no, 1 and 4 are really good.
6 is great.
2 is garbage. 3 is garbage.
We're going to have garbage films, dude.
That's true.
Jaws 4, for God's sake.
Jaws 3. 4? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one where somebody asked Michael Caine. They went, you missed being at the Oscars this year because you were filming Jaws 4. And he goes, yep. He goes, by all accounts, I heard the movie's horrible. It did pay for the house I'm living in, though.
Well,
that's what he said.
Whatever you got to do.
That's what he said in the interview, which is hilarious.
I'm cool. If you want to pick, I think that's what we'll do. We'll do it kind of the way we've done this with the music.
What about the Star Trek movies?
That's a lot, man.
Not just the Next Generation. We start at the beginning and go all the way through Next Generation.
That's a lot of movies.
That means we have to watch Nemesis and then the J.J. Abrams movies.
Oh.
That's a big one. That's a big one to tackle. That's on the list, but that's not where we're going to.
Well, Nemesis got your boy Tom Hardy in it.
He's not my boy. Dude, I got to be honest with you. I couldn't pick Tom Hardy out of a lineup of actors if I had to.
You're crazy.
I couldn't.
Well, you couldn't see him as Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
I don't know.
Why they get him. Well, look, he's in the new Mad Max, dude. Show respect. He's in the new Mad Max. Well, we can do Star Trek, but that's a long haul.
What about the Lethal Weapon movies?
I've only seen like 2 of them.
They're not bad, man. 3, I think, is the worst of them.
Well, that's why I didn't watch 3.
But there's 4.
That's why I only watched 2. We'll figure it out. But we'll just throw in some stuff out there. The Batman movies wouldn't be too bad, even though there's a good bit of those too now. Especially if we're going to add in the Adam West one.
Of course we are. It's the first one we'd have to watch. It came out in 66.
Then we'd have to watch the declining Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, the last one's real rough.
Ooh. But I am excited about talking about these. Rocky, let's not do first off. Let's do something nerdy. You know what I mean? Science fiction or...
We could do Conan movies.
Conan, well, yeah, there's 2 of those.
Well,
it's not too
fun.
bad.
I mean, there's only 2 Ghostbusters movies, but we're going to do them both eventually.
Oh, speaking of that, did you hear that, just like we said, Rebel Wilson did say that she's had a meeting to be in that movie, in the 3rd movie. That is a absolute joke.
Well, I think we need to sue somebody for taking our casting.
It's true. Jennifer Lawrence and her have been supposedly approached or had a meeting or is rumored to be in the new Ghostbusters
Whatever.
movie.
I don't care.
So,
it's not a Ghostbusters film. Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Yeah, we could do that.
5 of those.
Like what about the cartoon? Is that including the cartoon?
Which
cartoon movie? That's including the cartoon movie.
No. Here we go.
Huh?
Well, you talking about the CGI movie?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. They made a cartoon at the end of the 2003 cartoon series called Turtles Forever.
Didn't know that.
Which crosses over the animation from the original series with the 2003 series, and then they animate basically the black and white comics also. They make Turtles in the movie that are black and white.
Yeah, we could do the Turtles movies.
So yeah, so you got Turtles.
Let's do the Turtles movies first.
Secret of the Ooze is 2.
Do you own the 3rd one?
I don't own the 2nd one.
I thought you were a Turtles fan.
I got the 1st one.
Are you
I've got
Jonathan
TMNT, which is the CGI one.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Turtles Forever, which is the one I was just telling you about. And I don't own the new one either, which means you're going to have to buy that one.
We're not going to do the Turtles.
You're going to have to buy that one.
No way, you're the Turtles guy.
Yeah, that's why I'm not buying it. Don't do it. That's why I'm not buying it.
We'll figure it out.
So essentially, we've talked for 5 minutes and given them nothing.
You got nothing out of this, other than me trying to hold back a fart, which Jonathan quickly yells at me about. Which I think would be funny. It's comedy. Everybody loves a good fart.
It's crass. It's crass humor.
It's for rubes.
It's below our humor.
Yeah.
For our Go Ape podcast.
Well, that's it. And next time that we are talking to you guys, whenever that may be, we'll be talking about the awesome cartoon, Return of the Planet of the Apes. Possibly 1 or 2 episodes of the cartoon in each of our podcasts. And then after that, unknown at this point. I think if we do Star Trek movies, we do the old crew and the next. We separate those. You know what I mean? We do something else, and then we do like
that's fine.
The Next Generation crew.
Although, when do we do Generations? Because it has both crews in it.
In the middle, somewhere by itself. It's trash.
Well, it's not so much trash as it is just dark.
You're going to hear me rip a movie a new asshole when we hit Generations. I will obliterate that movie into the stratosphere.
Generations, better or worse than Insurrection?
Generations is the worst Star Trek movie, hands down.
You're way wrong. Way wrong.
You know who agrees? You know who agrees with me?
I don't care. He's wrong,
Angry
too.
Video Game Nerd. Video Game Nerd puts it at the low. He puts it at the low end.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Very low end of
it's
the worst.
It is not worse than Nemesis.
Garbage.
It is not worse than Star Trek 2 Into the Darkness. It is not worse than that fart.
I just farted because of your anger and your.
And it is not worse than.
There's your second one.
Insurrection.
It's terrible.
Nope.
We'll talk about it.
Way off.
This is just some of the preview that you're going to get when you stay tuned to Go Ape Podcast 2.0, now with more farts and more nerddom.
Let's got Mr. Tricorder. Hello.
Oh my god.
And Dana gets the humor chip.
Generations. God. It's really angering me now.
All right. Well,
you better believe when I'll come with my guns packed with that one because I'm gonna have Angry Video Game Nerds his video ready to go. You're gonna see that he puts that at the low end. He does like a.
Who cares? That's one man's opinion.
But I agree with him. He's right. So there's someone else that agrees with me. He does like a table and he shows how there's Star Trek movies that are for fun, like just campy bullshit, and there's ones that are like supposed to be like big, like story arcs of Star Trek and Generations all the way at the low end.
Look, I'm not playing around with our listeners this week. You need to tweet us your list of the Star Trek films. Of what
That's a
your
lot to
order.
ask them.
I don't care. You need to tweet us.
What's the worst Star Trek film?
Fine, yeah. Tweet us what the worst Star Trek film is.
I'm looking at you here, Robert Womack. You better get on this. You're the big Star Trek man.
Yeah, and you're always tweeting us.
And it's okay to disagree with me. It's all right.
Well, most people are because you're wrong.
No, Generations is garbage.
It's not the worst. Not the worst.
For me, it is.
Well, I mean, I understand your love of Mad Max is what lets you accept Nemesis, because that's what that movie is. It's Star Trek meets Mad Max. Fucking dune buggies and shit. The movie's terrible.
Picard cries in Generations, dude. He cries! The Enterprise D
cried during the show.
The Enterprise D is destroyed. This is wrong on all accounts.
Yeah, but he gave us the Enterprise E, which looked pretty badass.
It's got Shatner in it.
Thanks, Frakes. Thanks, Jonathan Frakes,
His
for the
last
Enterprise
words. Shatner's last words will haunt me for all my days.
Oh my.
Did we make a difference?
No, his last words were, oh my.
Oh my. Yeah, it's a pause. Of course, you know there's going to be a pause with Shatner. Shatner's trash.
That's just called him talking.
It's a filth movie, man. And I've got a whole story about that how I went and saw that film, what happened in the theater, the debacle that it was in the theater. I was surrounded by extreme Star Trek nerds. I was like a caged cat. And I was.
What's your worst movie experience of all time?
Oh, what do you mean, like in the theater?
Yeah, going to see a movie in the theater.
Castaway was pretty bad.
Okay.
Because the whole time that Tom Hanks did anything in the movie, this idiot sitting beside me would laugh. Didn't matter what he did. If he figured out how to open up a box. And it drove me insane. I was ready to just rip his jugular out. Oh, that guy. I was like, what is so fucking funny, dude? I mean, yeah, there's funny moments that you know are funny, but like just him figuring stuff out how to live. It was like Beavis and Butthead was sitting right next to me. Incredible. What about yours?
I'm trying to think of an audience thing, like with a problem with an audience member, like another person in the theater. I would have to say, I went and saw a movie with our buddy Cliff, who used to do movie screenings. Mm-hmm. And it was Anchorman, I believe. And there was a girl, Cliff made the announcement beforehand. He's like, hey, we're doing this free movie screening. Everyone needs to have their phones shut off. If you don't have your phone off, you're getting tossed out of here, if we catch you. Like 4 seats down from us on the very back row of the theater, right? Phone goes off. Cliff leans forward, he looks down there. They shut the phone off, right? I swear to God, like 2 minutes later, phone goes off again. And I'm like, turn your fucking phone off. Like I yell that down there, right?
Right.
30 seconds later, a third ring. And all of a sudden, dude, I stood up, okay? And I went, I went this.
You bastard.
I went, are you fucking kidding me with this fucking phone? And all of a sudden you hear this girl go, it wasn't me this time.
Classic.
But I was like, are you fucking kidding me with this phone? But you've been with me when I've yelled at people in theaters.
Yeah. No, actually, I take that's true. Now you bring up about yelling at people. Mine is probably going to be, I hate to say it, but it's Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That was probably my worst. Seeing all those little kids in there. And then these kids kept on talking. They kept on talking and talking and talking and talking. I kept on being like, be quiet, be quiet. And they wouldn't stop talking. And it just was very vexing.
You and I went and saw a movie one time in the theater. I don't remember what it was. But there was 2 guys behind us talking. And they had the extra seat in between them.
Yeah.
Where they're having a conversation.
We're not gay seat.
And not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
And I turned around and I was like, I shushed them. And then all of a sudden, after having to do it like another time, a woman who's sitting in the same row as them was like, if you guys are going to talk, you just need to move closer together. And I cut her off. Do you remember? I went, no. I went, you just need to shut up. I was like, because I'm not here to fucking listen to you.
We've almost come to blows a couple times in the theaters. But you know what? I will say this. Knock on wood. Last, I would say, 12 times, I haven't had a problem in the theater.
And Jeff was with me the time I screamed at kids in Lost World.
That's right.
You have done a lot of screaming. I've turned around and yelled at little kids to shut up during the Lost World. Yeah, I mean, I've lost it in theaters before. It's amazing, granted, given the time period, but it's amazing. Nowadays, I might get shot for some of the stuff I've done in theaters.
Probably so.
But it doesn't matter. I'd take a bullet and just keep fighting.
Yeah, you're pretty brawly.
Most embarrassing movie I've seen in the theater, though, has to be The Avengers.
What do you mean embarrassing?
Just bad. Shouldn't have gone to see it.
Oh,
The Avengers. And I'm not talking about the one with Robert Downey Jr. We're talking Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes and Sean Connery, The Avengers.
And you paid I think $80 to see it?
It was like $8 or $9 because it was in San Diego.
At the time, that was like double the price we were paying almost.
Yeah. So
that
we were
like, what? You went and saw that trash?
Yeah, The Avengers, people.
What was my most embarrassing movie?
I think you saw Warriors of Virtue, didn't you?
That was Jeff.
It was you. Warriors of Virtue.
It was not me. I don't really know, man. I'm usually straight on the money when it comes to... I mean, I guess... it's easy. That's very easy. The movie that I walked out of, and I was like, that movie right there was a complete piece of shit, is a little movie called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or some shit.
You walked out of it?
No, I'm saying like when I left.
Oh, okay.
You know, when I left the theater, I turned back and I just did a double wave hand thing, like, garbage.
The only movie I've ever attempted to walk out of?
D&D movie.
Dude, we cracked up. Remember the end when they bury snails? Me and you and Jeff just burst out laughing.
What are they laughing? They went, what are they laughing at? We're like, this movie's shit.
Laughing at his pauper's grave.
Like, this movie's absolute ass.
But dude, I'll never forget. The only movie I ever tried to walk out of, and Jeff stopped me, was Batman and Robin. It was 2-3 minutes in.
Oh man!
And when they're fighting Mr. Freeze, very start of the movie, and they fall on their back and they kick their heels together and ice skates come out. I looked at Jeff. I went, "Let's go. We can leave." I went, "They'll give us our money back. It's 5 minutes into the movie."
Right.
I was like, "Let's leave," and he's like, "No, man, it'll get better." That was an empty promise if I ever had one.
I regret not walking out of Phantom Menace. I think that would have been just a real moment of just amazing.
I can't believe you drugged me to it 4 times.
Okay, that's the end of Go 8 podcast for this episode. Yeah, all right. Anywho, everybody knows you're a big Jake Lloyd fan, and you are to this day.
What movie did you ever see the most in the theater?
7.
How many times did you go?
I think I saw it. It's either, I hate to say, I know it's kind of dumb, but I either saw it 5 or 7 times. I can't remember.
Okay.
Because it was such a fun movie to see, and multiple people hadn't seen it, so I'd go anytime I could to go see it. If this group hadn't seen it,
right.
this group of friends hadn't seen it, because I wanted to see the reaction, and then after I'd seen it once, at the end of the movie, all I would do is spin around in my chair and look at everybody's faces, and I wanted to see the shock on everybody's faces, and that became real enjoyable to me. And then it showed up at the Dollar Flicks. So once it came to the Dollar Flicks, I was like, "We're there. Let's go see it again." I want to see the reaction.
Sadly, I really did see Phantom Menace 4 times.
Is that your number one movie that you've seen the most in the theater?
No, I have a tie for that. Okay. The tie would be Fifth Element. I saw it in the theater 4 times. And Fifth Element was the same thing. I went once, probably with some friends, to see it the first time. Then I saw it 3 times at the Dollar Theater. And I took 3 different girls to go see that movie.
You should have just bought a multi-pass to go see it.
Should have.
See how they did that?
Multi-pass.
All right, Go 8 podcast, guys.
So there's some music coming in. Possibly questionable.
It's cool. All right, there's music. I hear it.
Say it's good. Say it's good.
It's well.
Say it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good. So you can find us on Twitter. You can find my co-host at SavageGM. You can find me at Abe Randall, and you can find us on the iTunes. Yep. Go 8 podcast. We appreciate you guys listening to our huge episode. Wrap it up.
Yes, it's our biggest episode ever, I'm certain.
Right? And I don't know, probably. And until next time, we will go 8.
I'll go 8.
And I'll go 8.